Once again, I have a problem with adding far more books to my TBR. I will link the link in the description box. Link the link in the description box. Baby girl. Honey, you gotta lay over there. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My voice is a little scratchy today, so I apologize if that's a little distracting. Cynthia unfortunately has caught a cold from school. It is not COVID, thankfully, but I think that I'm starting to get a little bit of the nasally scratchy voice, but we will just go with it for today. I want to start off this video first and foremost by saying a massive, massive thank you to everyone who has watched, who has commented, who has liked my last vlog. I felt really proud of the vlog when I had finished editing it and uploaded it. It felt really good. And then once it had gone live, I started to feel really anxious about it. Like, ooh, was I too vulnerable? Did I say too much? Is this gonna come across the way that I hope that it comes across? And all of your comments have just been so incredibly appreciated. I feel so much support, so much encouragement. And it seems like there are some parts of the video that have resonated with you all and what's going on in your lives. So that's always, my goal is I hope that my videos are, helpful in some way or entertaining at the very least. So thank you. It's just been truly amazing, and my mind is really blown at the number of you who have watched it and who have commented. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really means the world to me. And if you're new here to this channel, hello, my name is Erin. I am a content creator and a writer and a photography hobbyist. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about books and writing, peaceful nature scenes, and all that sort of cozy content. So welcome to my channel. I'm glad that you're here. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing the books that I plan to read in the month of March, or the books that I hope to read in the month of March. So my March TBR. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to be sharing a little bit more information about my Patreon, which is currently in its soft launch, but we will get into that a little bit later. And for now, let's just go ahead and dive right into the March TBR. So if you've watched my other TBR videos, you will be quite familiar with the reading calendar that my wife Cynthia and I have made for one another. And so we are going to, well, I know what book is coming, but now you all get to see what book I am going to be reading for the month of March. The House on the Strand by Daphne du Maurier. I have requested this book from the library. I'm still waiting for it to arrive, but I pulled up the synopsis from Goodreads. So I'm just gonna refer to my notes and read the synopsis to you. Dick Young is lent a house in Cornwall by his friend Professor Magnus Lane. During his stay, he agrees to serve as a guinea pig for a new drug that Magnus has discovered in his scientific research. When Dick samples Magnus's potion, he finds himself doing the impossible, traveling through time while staying in place, thrown all the way back into medieval Cornwall. The concoction wears off after several hours, but its effects are intoxicating, and Dick cannot resist his newfound powers. I am really excited to read this book by Daphne du Maurier. I have read Rebecca and My Cousin Rachel and Jamaica Inn. Jamaica Inn is probably my favorite out of what I've read so far by Daphne du Maurier. And this one sounds a little bit different than the others that I've read. It's the first story by Daphne du Maurier that has a male protagonist. All the books that I've read so far have female protagonists. So I'm really curious to see how the narrative differs. The theme of my reading calendar that Cynthia created for me this year is the underrated works of authors who are either really well known or authors that I really enjoy. So this is one that I have not read by Daphne du Maurier, and I'm really, really excited to read it. The next two books that I'm adding to my March TBR are carryovers from last month's TBR. The first one is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And I won't go into the same amount of detail in this video, but I will link my February TBR video if you want to check that out and hear me read the synopsis of this book. I was ambitious in the month of February and thought I would get to this pretty lengthy book. I did not. Probably comes as no surprise considering that I had selected like 7 or 8 books in February, and it's the shortest month of the year. So I'm not really sure where my logic came in with that decision, but I really want to get to The Bone Season in the month of March. I'm really wanting to get into more fantasy and more speculative fiction this year. And as I mentioned in my February TBR, this is the 10th anniversary fully revised edition of The Bone Season. Really, really looking forward to reading this one. The next book was also on my February TBR, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I don't believe that I went into detail about the plot synopsis on this one last month, so I will read the back cover. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment: travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. I won't read the rest of the back because I want to leave a little bit of mystery for myself. I keep seeing this book pop up so much recently. Obviously, I was familiar with it prior to picking it up, and I'm trying to think, when was this published? Oh, this book was published in 2020, so I'm not too far behind the curve on this one. You know how sometimes when you learn about something, like a particular book, and then you start seeing it everywhere? I have been seeing so many videos with this book. I have had several of you make comments about like how much you enjoyed this book, and so March is going to be the month that I read The House in the Cerulean Sea. The rest of the books on this list are new books for the month of March that I am hoping to read. And the first one is There by Tommy Orange. This one is the book that I'll be reading for my library's book club. The author, Tommy Orange, was born and raised in Oakland, California. He is an enrolled member of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes of Oklahoma. So this book is a fictional story. So it tells the story of 12 characters, each of whom has private reasons for traveling to the big Oakland powwow. There will be glorious communion and a spectacle of sacred tradition and pageantry, and there will be sacrifice and heroism and unspeakable loss. I like that there are multiple perspectives for this story, and this was probably done intentionally, but I really love the cover design of this book. And if I had to guess, there's got to be a connection between the author's last name and the color, the primary color that they chose for the cover. But I just think it's really striking. And the title also just draws me in, and I'm very curious about this one. So going to be reading this in the month of March with my library book club. The next book that I'm hoping to read in the month of March is one that I spotted at the library. In fact, I'm just now realizing that all of the books that I've picked for the month of March are borrowed from the library. This one is Miss Jane Austen's Guide to Modern Life's Dilemmas, Answers to Your Most Burning Questions About Life, Love, Happiness, and What to Wear, from the great novelist herself. And this is written by Rebecca Smith. So this book is a nonfiction book. Just from what I've kind of seen when I've flipped through, so the contents are love and relationships, friends and family, work and career, fashion and style, home and garden, leisure and travel. I love Jane Austen, and when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is going to be really cute. I love when people take Jane Austen and modernize her, I guess, advice, and it feels like this is going to be a cute and lighthearted read. The last book on my March TBR is another nonfiction book, and it is The Thorn Necklace by Francesca Leah Block, Healing Through Writing and the Creative Process. I had seen this book, I guess, a few months ago when I had gone to the library and I was just perusing like the nonfiction writing section, and I noted it as, you know, I want to read this eventually. And then shortly after I was laid off and I went to the library, I saw this book again and thought, you know what? I think now's a good time to pick up this book and read it. In this long anticipated guide to the craft of writing, Block offers an intimate glimpse of an artist at work and a detailed guide to help readers channel their own experiences and creative energy. Sharing visceral insights and powerful exercises, she gently guides us down the right to heal path, revealing at each turn the intrinsic value of channeling our experiences onto the page. I think as I'm navigating this new chapter in my life and also getting back into the practice of writing, I think that this book is going to be really helpful for me to read and also to help me feel inspired. Really looking forward to The Thorn Necklace. And those are all the books for my March TBR. Once again, I have a problem with adding far more books to my TBR than I could feasibly read in a single month. But who knows? Maybe March will be my month. So we'll throw these on the list and we'll see what I get to. Now, I would just like to go into a little bit more detail about my Patreon that I soft launched last week. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I did a little post there and an announcement, and I also did a community post here on YouTube as well. As of right now, I am offering one tier. So the nymph tier directly supports my work, and it also gives you access to behind the scenes content. I uploaded a post yesterday for the nymph tier showing the planning and the prep that went into making this video. If you're curious about checking out the nymph tier, it is live right now. I will be periodically updating with more behind the scenes content. The full launch of my Patreon is going to be Monday, April the 1st. And at that time, I'm going to be adding more benefits to the nymph tier. And I'm also going to be adding a second tier, which will be the damselfly tier. You get all the same benefits that will be available for the nymph tier, plus you will have access to the book club that I'm going to be hosting and starting over on Patreon. There will be some other benefits that are specific to the damselfly tier, and I will share those as we get closer to Monday, April the 1st. If you are curious, check out my Patreon. I will link the link in the description box. Link the link in the description box. I will include the link in the description box. And just know that there is absolutely no obligation. I know that times are really financially challenging for everyone right now, especially with the cost of living crisis. And it, you just being here, watching my videos, supporting my channel here on YouTube, it means so much to me. But if you are curious and you are in a position to support me over on Patreon, I will have that link available for you in the description box. Thank you so very much for watching this video and for being here on my channel. I really cannot say thank you enough. I feel like I can't put into words just how much gratitude I feel for this beautiful booktube community and for each and every one of you who has watched my videos, who has liked, who has commented. I'm just truly thankful and grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm sending lots of warm hugs. If you feel comfortable, I would love to know what books you are hoping to read in the month of March. Please feel free to share those books in the comments below. I always enjoy reading what you all are currently reading or hoping to read, because it ends up giving me ideas for future books to read. Although I don't seem to have a problem with finding plenty of books to add to a TBR, but the more the merrier. And until next time, I hope you have a lovely and cozy book to curl up with. Bye-bye.